Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anastasia. Here we talk about investing and especially investing for beginners. In today's video, I would like to share my thoughts with you on whether it's possible to make a living out of copy other people on Etoro. And if it is possible, then how to do it and how much money you have to invest into copy trading in order to have a comfortable life and being completely passive. As I said in my previous videos, Etoro, in my opinion, is the best platform for beginner investors, and the best feature on Etoro is copy trading, social trading, where you don't have to make your own trades, you just copy the trades of other more professional and more experienced traders. That involves a higher risk than, for example, investing on Vanguard. Someone mentioned this fact in the comments below one of my videos, and I 100% agree with this opinion. But still, I think that copy trading on Etoro can potentially bring you higher profits, of course, for higher risks. That's why you always have to remember that if you decide to invest some money into Etoro or any other platforms, you have to remember that investing always involves risks, and the previous performance will never indicate future results. You cannot rely on the money that you will get. So this is the problem number one. If you ask yourself whether you can make a living out of investing through Etoro or any other platform really, main problem is that you can never rely on making a profit every single month. Over a certain period of time, usually the longer the time, the more guarantees you have, you will most probably make money, that's true. But on a month-to-month basis, the chances of you losing some money are as high as making money. That's why if you want to leave the profits of your investments on Etoro, on Vanguard, on Trading 212 or somewhere else as the only source of income, I don't know personally if this is the best idea. I wouldn't do it for sure because the risk is too high for me. But nevertheless, I use Etoro with the intention to be living off this money that I'm investing right now in the future, hopefully in the nearest future, but you never know. But I have my personal target of how much money I want to have invested in Etoro before I actually start taking my profits out or some of the profits out to use in my daily life. And that's the information that I'm going to share with you at the end of the video. But before we start talking about the actual money and the actual sums, let's try to understand first how investing works and how you have to change the way of thinking in order to answer this question for yourself. The question of how much money you have to invest in order to be able to make a living out of copy trading on Etoro. So in the normal life, what usually happens is your salary or your income depends on the hours that you spend at work. Say you work 40 hours a week and at the end of the month you get $2,000. That means that you can understand how much money you get per hour. It doesn't matter whether you work very actively during this hour or you have nothing to do and you're just sitting in front of your computer, just sipping a tea. It does not matter. That's if you are an office worker. In my experience, I used to work in the office and then I found an online job where my salary was fully dependent on the number of hours that I was working. I was getting a fixed rate per hour, so the amount of money that I would get at the end of the month was completely dependent on the number of hours that I'd work that month. When I started investing, the first thing that I had to completely rethink is the way I made money. Because now my money, my income, when it comes to investing, it doesn't depend on the hours I spend on my computer, on the research. It doesn't depend on that completely. My income, when it comes to investing, depends on my money. So it's not the time that makes me money, it's my money that makes me more money. And of course, the more money I invest, the more money I make. This is when your money becomes a tool, and this is how rich get richer. Because if I invest $100 and I make 4% out of that $100, I make only £4. But if someone else invests $100,000 into the same asset and gets 4% out of that 100,000, that would already be $4,000. So you see the difference. Both me and the other person, we've done the same amount of work, but at the end the result is completely different. And I stayed with my $4, whilst the other person stayed with their $4,000. Because originally they invested 1,000 times more money than I did. So the lesson number one that I learned when I started investing is to start thinking in percentages. And I don't want it to sound that you have to invest as much money as possible in order to make more money, because as I mentioned before, no one will give you a guarantee that you will make any money, and in fact you can even lose your money. That's why, of course, it works both ways. If you invest more money, you can make more money, but also at the same time you can lose your money if you have a bad month. That's why everyone has to find this balance where they feel comfortable with the potential losses that they can have, and at the same time they can get enough profits to live off in case they have a good month and they make good results. I would like to show you now my profile on Etoro and what I actually mean. So we are talking about copy people, that's why let's open this tab here and let's look at anybody. For example, this guy, I don't copy him. I just want to show you how it looks and how to calculate the percentage that you can potentially get if you start copying him. The potential profits comes from his statistics and from his historical graphs. So you see that every month, and this is very convenient how Etoro shows you the profits or losses that the person made every single month, is on average in 2021 he made on average, let's say 5.5%, even probably more than that, because you see in January he made 5.7, 7.9, 5.9, 5.4. But the longer the history of this person is on Etoro, like for this guy it's starting from 2017, you can see that the biggest loss that he's ever had in 1 month is 7.3% here in 2017. So you have to be prepared to lose 7.3% out of all of your money, and you cannot rely on this money to be your profits. That's why you cannot say, like with normal job, you can say that, okay, this month I get $2,000 and I can rely on $2,000 next month because I know that my boss will pay me this money. After 2020, with the pandemic and with the lockdowns, with the furlough, and with this whole thing that's going on in the world right now, I am not sure if we can rely on anything and if we can be sure in anything about the future. Life in general is a risky business. So also, this nearly 8% in February of 2021 is not the highest result that he's ever achieved. You see here in 2017, he made 10%. So what we have to do if we want to get the general idea of how much money we can kind of expect from this person to make us every month, we have to add these numbers here at the end of each year. Then we can kind of understand that in the last 4 years he made a total of 129%. So we divide it by 4. That means that on average per year he makes about 32%, and then we divide it by 12 months. That means that on average he makes 2.6%. This is the statistics only of one person, and there are loads of traders and popular investors on Etoro. You have to see by the people who you copy yourself, but you have to always remember that you can never rely on your future results based on your previous performance. So then continuing thinking in percentages, you have to think about the sum of money that you would like to get passively from Etoro every month in order to have a comfortable life without any other sources of income. So as an example, let's say that you need $1,000. What we do next is we open our calculator again, and what we have to do is we have to understand how much money we need in our account in order to get $1,000, where $1,000 is 2.6% out of our total sum. For that, we have to put $1,000 times 100 and then divided by 2.6. To make our calculations easier, let's take not 2.6% but 3%, and what we have is $33,333. That means that if you have $33,000 invested into your Etoro account, then most probably you will get $1,000 every month in profit if the person you copy keeps on bringing the same results as what he used to in the last 4 years. That was our theoretical lesson. Now let's get to the practical stuff. And as always, theory and real life are completely different. So let's look at my profile and see my real results that I managed to achieve, because I actually have invested not far away from $30,000. My total equity at the moment is $30,000, a bit more than $30,000. So that's not too far away from our $33,000 that we've been just talking about. But nevertheless, I am nowhere near to making $1,000 every month. In fact, I'm very happy to be with the profit of $1,700, and this is, I think, since January or December, when I put a large sum of money into my Etoro account. But it's been 3 months, so why isn't it $3,000 yet? You cannot rely on making a profit every single month. I don't just copy other people, I also invest into individual stocks and shares, which doesn't always go well. But if we look at the people who I actually copy, they are Jay Nemesis, and he's made me 16% so far out of $12,000. Then I copy Wesley, who's made me 0.8% out of 2,500. Olivier Danwell, who made me 0.5% out of 2,500. Jeppe Kierbonk, who's at the moment at a loss of 0.4% out of 2,500. Baltic Seal, who I copy with $1,000 and who's up 0.8%, and Amar Singh, who I copy with $500, and he's so far up 3%. We can see that it is very, very difficult to predict how these people will perform in the future because their performance is so different. I will show you with an example of Jeppe Kierbonk. If we read his bio, one of the things that he's very proud of, and the thing that he writes as in the first line of his bio, is the fact that over 30% average annual return since 2013 he managed to achieve. But it doesn't mean that he achieved this return every single year. And if we open his stats, we will see in 2014 he lost 14%. He also lost some money in 2018. You see, it doesn't mean that every single year he made a 30% return. So to calculate how much money you actually have to invest in order to get your $1,000 a month that we've been speaking about originally is a very, very hard number to calculate. It's almost impossible to predict it. All of the money that I invested into my Etoro account is the money that I'm prepared to lose. And by copying other people, this is a passive investment, meaning that this is a passive income or a passive loss. And it gives me more time to concentrate on other sources of income where I have to actually do something and get my money from the hours I spend doing my work. So as you've just seen, theory and real life always never coincide, and that's why the answer of how much money you have to invest into copy trading on Etoro in order to make a living out of it in reality doesn't exist. It's a genius idea where you don't have to do anything and you just get the profit of the work of other people, but this gives you time and possibility to concentrate more on the other sources of income. Anyway, I hope you found this video interesting and useful. If so, please click the like button below and also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. If you have any thoughts that you'd like to share, please comment below. I love reading your comments, and thank you guys so much for commenting. All your comments, they motivate me to create more videos, and I really hope that you like them. And for today, that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you. Thank you very much for watching, and bye bye.